Somewhere along the way, good enough stopped feeling acceptable and started feeling like failure. Welcome to Wisdom from the Porch. I'm GP. This is Wisdom from the Porch. If self-care has started to feel like a checklist you're failing, you're not doing it wrong. You're doing too much. Let's talk about the good enough version that actually restores you. Somewhere along the way, self-care got turned into a performance. Yoga, meditation, journaling, eating clean, 8 hours of sleep, perfect morning routine, perfect nighttime routine. And if you're not doing all of it, you start feeling like you're failing at rest. That's the trap. We take something meant to restore us, and we turn it into another scorecard. Social media doesn't help. You see high-functioning wellness everywhere. Beautiful routines, calm lighting, perfect discipline. And it quietly teaches you that self-care has to look a certain way to count. So now you're not resting, you're grading yourself. And the irony is, the harder you try to do self-care right, the more stressed you feel. Self-care isn't supposed to be another chore. It's supposed to make your life feel more livable. For a lot of us men, self-care already feels uncomfortable. Not because we don't need it, because we were taught to treat emotional needs like weakness. So when we finally try to practice self-care, we bring the same mindset we bring to work and achievement. Optimize it, crush it, win at it. But self-care doesn't respond well to pressure. Here's the shift. The most radical form of self-care might be giving yourself permission to be good enough. What if self-care isn't about adding more to your life, but taking something off your shoulders? What if it's not, how do I fix myself, but how do I stop punishing myself? Because when self-care becomes another demand, it stops being care. It becomes self-criticism in a nicer font. And that mindset doesn't just drain you, it changes how you show up with other people. When you're constantly tense, constantly striving, constantly measuring yourself, connection gets harder. Patience gets thinner. You have less emotional room. Good enough gives you room to breathe again. So let's redefine it. Self-care isn't fancy products or Instagram-worthy rituals. Self-care is the small, quiet decision to be kind to yourself without needing proof you earned it. Try this question, simple but powerful. What do I actually need right now? Not what you should need, not what the internet says you need, what you actually need. Sometimes it's a workout, sometimes it's a nap, sometimes it's a real meal. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's stepping away from people for a minute without guilt. And here's the truth a lot of us need to hear. You don't have to be productive to deserve a break. You don't have to be perfect to deserve care. You are worthy of rest because you exist. The most important part of self-care is the part nobody can post. It's the internal shift from self-criticism to self-compassion. It's the moment you forgive yourself for being human. It's the decision to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. For us men, this is hard, because we're taught toughness means push through. But real strength isn't being invincible. Real strength is being honest. It's being brave enough to admit, I'm depleted, and wise enough to respond with care instead of shame. Self-care isn't about fixing yourself. It's about accepting yourself and letting good enough be more than enough. That's what we're talking about on the porch today. Good enough was never the problem. Our fear of being seen that way was. If this helped even a little, you can follow the show, so these conversations are here when you need them. And as always, thank you to Cloud Microphones for supporting these conversations. This has been Wisdom from the Porch. I'm GP. You're always welcome on the porch.